one of the things is really understanding the things that we allow and don't allow with, right? I think end of the day, one of the ways the challenge of a culture is ultimately defined by is the worst behaviors tolerated. Because if you don't have boundaries and values that people adhere to, and you don't put them in your performance reviews, they aren't related to bonus and yearly increases and metrics. All of this is just an empty platitude, right? And that's what ends up happening to most people. I also think when you're thinking about this is that you have to know what type of people that you want to have in your organization as a construct, right? And because you want to keep good people in your organization, but you also don't want to keep wrong people in or hire them. And so I think you really need to figure out how to fit around that practice. I think the other thing that really I get sick of hearing for people is hiring for cultural fit. The bottom line is you hire for cultural contribution, right? And you have to sit down and think about the contribution that new people will bring. And you want to bring people in who can add to your culture that it changes it, for the better. And I think this also comes to real diversity and inclusion inside of here. And I think that's really where you can start to really look at it and really start to get down to it. But then you've got to figure out what's your framework for creating this culture? How often are you going to revisit it? Are the leaders going to model these behaviors over time, right? I think those are all questions and difficulties in order to create something that you really want as a culture.
So I'm going to piggyback off that, Jason, and absolutely, it really is about culture add. And it is one of the, as I work with my clients and even within Assemble and the work that we do in helping companies establish and really improve their cultures, it's really shifting that mindset from culture fit to culture add, right? How are these individuals, how are people looking, how are they going to add to the culture of the organization, or as you put it, Jason, contribute? One of the challenges, though, that I do find with, when I'm looking at different organizations, doing my research and understanding how they're approaching culture, a lot of people think that the way to impact or to build company culture is at the surface level, right? So happy hours or create like discounts. And I'm not saying that that's not a part of it, but it goes deeper than that. And I think that some of those concepts are forgotten. So for example, what are the expectations that are around sending emails? Are people emailing at all hours of the night? Is the expectation that you are always tied to your laptop or tied to your computer? Is the expectation that you're on vacation, but you're still responding to email? All of those things are also a part of a workplace culture. And those are some of the things that are forgotten about. It's not just about the happy things that we're able to bring, right? It's also about, those day-to-day actions that we all put out there, and what message are we sending?